The Case of the Gasping Garbage. Chapter 5. A Dark Day. It was a fine day for measuring tadpoles. In fact, that's exactly what Nell Fossey was doing at her desk when the phone rang. She set aside the chart she was plotting and told her tadpoles to take a break. "Doyle and Fossey," she answered. It was Drake. "Nell, breaking news. Turn on your TV to Channel 5. Check." She clicked on the TV. A local news reporter was talking. "We've got a situation here, a real situation, a desperate situation. As you can see behind me, a truck is wedged under the bridge. Plainly, it was just too tall, and now it's stuck. No traffic can get through. And if that isn't bad enough, it's rush hour. Drivers are getting cranky, as you can hear. Horns are honking, and it's miles and miles to go around. Like I said, it's a desperate situation for the town of Mossy Lake." Nell turned the TV off. "What do you suggest?" "This is a chance for Doyle and Fossey. With our superior mental powers, we should have the truck out in a flash. Meet me at the bridge." Check. Click. 20 minutes later, surrounded by the sound of honking horns and the shouts of angry drivers, Nell and Drake pushed through the crowd to surround the truck. "Stand by, kid," said the police officer. "Let the professionals do their jobs." Nell handed the officer their business card. "Doyle and Fossey," she said, "at your service." "Oh, of course, Miss Fossey. Didn't recognize you at first. My apologies." The officer lifted the yellow tape barrier, and Nell and Drake entered the scene. There were firefighters, engineers, and news crews. There were politicians, truck drivers, and the mayor. They stood on the bridge. They climbed on ladders. They peered under the truck with flashlights. They held meetings. All in all, everyone seemed quite puzzled indeed. Nell set to work immediately. She observed, she measured, she calculated, she charted, she scratched her head. Meanwhile, Drake was calculating the height of the truck and scribbling in his lab notebook. Finally, Drake and Nell held a small meeting of their own. "What do you think?" Nell asked. Drake shook his head and pushed up his glasses. "It's jammed in tight. They're already tried to drive it out, but it just wedges in farther." Nell nodded. "Plus, they've tried pulling it with a tow truck from the other side. They've even tried greasing it." Drake continued, "But no go. To be perfectly honest, Scientist Nell, I'm stumped. Simply stumped." Me too. This is a dark day for Doyle and Fossey." "A dark day indeed," Nell agreed. Just then, as if being stumped weren't bad enough, they spied James Franco, the mad scientist, their arch rival. "Egads!" cried Drake, nearly dropping his notebook. "It's Frisco." They watched in horror as Frisco climbed all over the truck. Unfortunately for Doyle and Fossey, Frisco was allowed to go anywhere he liked and climbed over anything he wished because he was the police commissioner's son, mad scientist or not. Sometimes life was perfectly unfair. Frisco peered around the hood. He checked the brakes. He squinted through the windshield. He recorded the mileage. He scribbled in his lab notebook. And then he dashed away. "Great Scott!" exclaimed Drake. "He's gone back to his lab for final analysis." Drake turned to Nell. "We must solve the problem before Frisco does. Our reputation is at stake." "Agreed. I have an idea that just might work," said Drake. "Oh, I'm going to raise the bridge using hot air balloons." Nell was quiet. Real quiet. There was something not quite right here. Something she couldn't quite put her finger on. It was the sixth scientific sense that all good scientists have. "We must return to the lab," Drake was saying, "for final analysis. Then we'll present our findings to the mayor and oversee the extraction operation. Assuming there are no complications, we'll be home by supper." "You go," Nell finally said. "I'm going to stay here, just in case." Drake thought for a moment. "Good idea. I'll watch the TV, and if anything happens, I'll hurry right back. Check. Later."